The brand new Arch install script is now available, which simplifies the installation of ArchLinux on any computer in under 5 minutes without any complications. In this video, I will show you how to install ArchLinux on your computer using this newly updated Arch installer script. I previously covered this topic a few months ago, and this new version of the Arch installer has received significant updates, making the Arch installation easier than ever before. For demonstration purposes, I will be installing ArchLinux on a computer running the latest Windows 11 operating system. I have dedicated a separate drive for this purpose where I will be installing ArchLinux. Now, this setup will result in a dual boot configuration with both operating systems residing on separate drives. Now, with that being said, let's get started with the ArchLinux installation process. First, head over to the ArchLinux website to download the ISO image. Next, download Rufus from this website. Once the downloads are complete, you will need to create a bootable USB drive. Now, make sure that you have an 8 gigs or larger pen drive and connect it to your computer. You can use Rufus, DD, Ventoy, or Balena Etcher to create a bootable USB with ArchLinux. Now, for this video, I will be using Rufus to burn the ArchLinux ISO. After the flashing process is complete, restart your PC or laptop. During the reboot, you need to enter into BIOS settings. Now, use the keyboard shortcut based on your motherboard. Now, mostly it could be F2, F9, or Escape key. Now, the first thing to do after entering into BIOS is to enable USB boot. Then change the boot order by setting the USB drive as primary. Now, disable Secure Boot, which is very important to ensure ArchLinux boots properly. And if you have any option like Microsoft third-party UEFI, enable it. Now, once it's done, save the changes and your system will boot into ArchLinux from the USB drive. Now, if in case it fails to boot, use the UEFI boot menu to load ArchLinux install media. You will now see that the ArchLinux installation setup has been successfully booted. The first thing is to check for a stable internet connection. If your computer is connected via Ethernet, you can use the ping command to check the connection. If you have built-in Wi-Fi support, use the IWCTL to connect to the internet. Simply type IWCTL in the terminal to enter the IWD shell mode. Then type device list to see a list of network interfaces. Now, look for WLAN 0 and run station WLAN 0 get-networks to see available Wi-Fi networks. Next, run this command station WLAN 0, connect to your Wi-Fi network and enter the Wi-Fi password. Now, wait for 5 seconds and press enter to establish the connection. There may be no visible output, but if the connection was successful, exit the IWD mode. Now, you have successfully connected to the internet and you can proceed with the ArchLinux installation. Now, run the ping command and make sure you're receiving the packets. You can interrupt the command by pressing Ctrl+C. Now, run this command to synchronize the system packages and upgrade them to the latest version. Alright, as you can see, I'm connected to my computer via SSH. It's time to format the drive and prepare it for the ArchLinux installation. Type lsblk in the terminal to see a list of connected drives. In my case, dev.sda is the drive where I will install ArchLinux in a moment. You can also use fdisk-l command for more drive information. It is important to be careful that you are formatting the correct drive. Now, once confirmed, type gdisk /dev sda to launch the gdisk. Now replace SDA with your drive name. Now in Gdisk, press X to enter the expert mode and Z to erase the drive. Now follow the prompts to complete the drive erasing process. Now at this point, the drive dev SDA should be a blank drive without partitions. Now type this command to install ArchLinux keyring and Arch install packages. Now launch the ArchLinux installer script by typing arch install in the terminal. Now use the arrow keys to navigate through the options. Next, set the system language according to your preference. The first three options can be left at their default values. Now choose the disk configuration, select the first option, and choose the correct drive where you want to install ArchLinux by pressing either the spacebar or the tab key. An asterisk will indicate the drive selection. Now press enter and choose Btrfs as the file system for the installation. Now if you wish to secure your installation with encryption, you can set an encryption password. Now select the bootloader. You can choose between systemd or the GRUB. I will choose GRUB. Now leave the swap value as true and keep the hostname as ArchLinux. Set the root password and create a new user account. You can even add the new user to the sudo words list for elevated privileges. Now choose to confirm and exit. It's time to install the desktop environment. Choose Profile and select Desktop. The Arch install script offers various options, including setting up HyprLand on top of ArchLinux very easily. I made a dedicated video about HyprLand. Check the video link in the description. For demonstration purposes, I will choose the KDE desktop environment. Then choose the graphic drivers based on your hardware, such as proprietary for NVIDIA, AMD or ATI, open source for AMD, and the same for Intel. Now select the audio option and choose the audio server. For best results, it's recommended to use Pipewire. Now optionally, you can install additional kernels, but I will stick with the default or the latest kernel. In the additional packages section, specify a list of tools to install separated by spaces. Now configure the network and choose to use the network manager. Now select your time zone for the correct system time. You can also choose optional repositories and use multilib, which contains 32-bit software libraries. Now double check your selection and have not left anything blank. Once confirmed, select the install option and wait for a few minutes as ArchLinux is installed on your computer. That's it. With these simple steps, you have successfully installed ArchLinux using the Arch install script. Now for the installation, a prompt for post-installation steps will appear. Select Yes to enter the chroot environment and customize your new ArchLinux installation. Now install useful tools like Firefox, LibreOffice, and more. Now when you finish installing, exit the ch environment and use the shutdown command to power off your computer. Now remove the USB pen drive and turn on your computer. The computer should automatically load the GRUB menu. Now, if you notice, the menu only shows ArchLinux and there is no Windows boot entry. To fix that issue, boot into ArchLinux. Then open a terminal and edit the GRUB configuration file. Now increase the timeout limit by 30 seconds. Then go to the bottom of the file and uncomment this line. Now save the changes with Ctrl+O and exit with Ctrl+X. Then install OS Prober by running this command. Now update the GRUB configuration with this command. Then restart your computer and you will see ArchLinux and Windows boot entries in the GRUB boot menu. And that's pretty much it. This is how you can quickly and easily install ArchLinux in just 5 minutes using the Arch install script. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching my video. This has been KSKRL. I will see you in the next one.